Alrighty, guys. So, you just listened to Miss Burns read Thank You, Mr. Falker. It was really long, so thanks for sticking with me. Before we start talking about the message, remember we've got what life lesson does the author want you to learn? If she can do it, I can too. Be yourself. Don't give up. Help others the way we were helped. Good things come in small packages. Just try, and a small kindness can help someone feel seen. There might be something there that we can apply to this book. But before we start that, there's something really important. Turn that. Something really important that I want you to see here. This is kind of the after. This is coming straight from the author herself. The rest of the year became an odyssey of discovery and adventure for the little girl. She learned to love school. I know because that little girl was me, Patricia Polacco. I saw Mr. Falker again some 30 years later at a wedding. I walked up to him and introduced myself. At first he had difficulty placing me. Then I told him who I was and how he had changed my life so many years ago. He hugged me and asked me what I did for a living. Why, Mr. Falker, I answered, I make books for children. Thank you, Mr. Falker. Thank you. So, this whole story, all of this about Trisha, was actually about the author, Patricia Polacco. So, there's a lot of stuff to cover, so I went ahead and wrote it down early. So, we've got beginning, lesson, end. So, at the beginning, she was actually really enthusiastic about school. She grew up loving books. She loves to draw. But when she got to school, she started to struggle with reading, and she got teased and bullied, which caused her to lose hope and confidence in herself. When they called her dumb, she believed it. And that kitty, and away. And then at the end, Mr. Falker and Miss Plessy help her. She proves to herself that she can and will read. Reading becomes something that makes her very, very happy, the ability to read. So, the question is, what lesson did she learn to get from the beginning to the end? Well, there's one thing up here that we can go ahead and grab. The don't give up. We've seen that before in other stories, and we will see it again in other stories. That's why I'm making my poster here, because the lessons and messages in one story can easily go to other stories. So, kitty, still in the way. Don't give up. Bam. But the reason that I read to you that little end bit is for a very important reason. Kitty. Trisha, or Patricia Polacco, struggled with reading. She was teased. She lost confidence. But now what does she do? Guys, she's a famous children's book author. She's trying to teach us with this story that even if you struggle, you can still be successful. Even if you having a hard time writing because my kitty is in my lap. Even if you struggle, you can still be successful. So, Trisha learned that even though she was struggling, don't give up. And then she was able to read. And Patricia Polacco realized that even though she struggled as a child, she could still be successful. She became a successful children's book writer. So those are the lessons that this book wants us to take away. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. And Kitty says bye.